You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to be joined by Callum from Indigo Bay on the line. I'm so excited to have a session to share with you as well. But Callum, welcome along to Amazing Afternoons. How are you doing?
Cheers, Frankie. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about your band. I was delighted that I saw a couple of things from you guys this year. We heard some brilliant singles. I think Bats is one of my favorite indie singles of the year.
Whoa.
Quite by some margin as well. I think it's really immediate. I think I think it's got great energy in there. And what's exciting for me is we've got a special version of it as well in the session you've done for us here on Amazing. And I've also noticed that you signed to High Store Hit as well, who are a great
Yeah,
label,
yeah.
and I'm very excited about that collab as well. But let's go back to the beginning, if you don't mind, Callum. I understand you've been
Cool.
releasing singles since 2021. I've started to see your name out there.
Yeah.
But tell us about the band, where you're from, what you're all about, if you don't mind, for the listeners listening around the world.
Yeah, we all met in 2017 when we all went to college in Grimsby. We were all on the music course but put in different bands and we all had to do boring assignments and stuff like that. So Indigo Bay kind of came out of just wanting to get away from being in those college bands and do something fun and something that was us. So yeah, that's how we started. And yeah, so we've been releasing stuff on our own since 2018. But we've probably started recording recently and putting some better stuff out there.
Yeah, so you're all friends from in and around Grimsby. How much does Grimsby influence you as a people and as a band? I come from a similar kind of coastal town, Sunderland, in the northeast of England.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it's kind of post-industrial as well, a bit like Grimsby. Does it
Mm.
influence you in a way that I used to always say about Sunderland that you can never go out of fashion because you've never been in fashion?
I like that. But yeah, no, I think it does influence us. The people there love Grimsby, and it's actually really nice being there. Uh, and whenever we play a gig there, it's always really good. But the thing is, there's such a lot of like metal and hard rock, which is other bands seem to be doing that we were trying to shout sort of indie pop stuff and try and get people up dancing and stuff, but it just wasn't working. Um, so so that's why we're now based in Leeds, where people seem to be more keen to check out new music, just for the sakes of checking out new music. And but yeah, we'll always say so. We're based in Leeds now, but we'll always say from Grimsby because that's definitely been a huge part of us. And yeah, it really means a lot to us.
Yeah, Leeds is another cool northern city. It's got great venues as well, obviously, very well-known
Mm.
venues. And I guess what you're saying is you found more of a scene which is kind of like yourselves there, which bands you can bounce upon and across as well. Which other bands in Leeds at the moment are you digging? And have you got any pals in bands around Leeds?
Yeah, the band Eads, they obviously Harry and Dan, the lead singer and drummer, they recorded this EP. Um and they're awesome. They're great live. Another cool Leeds band is Green Gardens. Um Obviously English teacher as well.
What
Um
about venues wise? What's your favorite venues in Leeds to go to as well as to play, obviously?
I think I think Broodnell is up there. Broodnell is great. It's class. Porto's a nice little one that we've played a couple of times, and High Pop Book Club is quite a cool venue as well. I'd say those three are pretty cool.
Let's talk about the EP then, if you don't mind, Callum.
Sure.
I think it's great. I think I think it's got some great tracks on there. It's really strong as an EP. Often you get EPs, and particularly like maybe the first or second collection of EP, it kind of works from an artist. You get maybe some filler on there as well. But I think you
Mm.
showed exactly what you can do on this EP. Was that an intention?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think in 2021 we started like actually paying for studio time and stuff, and because we were paying a lot of money, it was sort of this was with a different studio who we recorded the EP with, but we were like, right, let's put out some stuff that is actually just really good, because we're, it's costing a lot of money and we don't have a lot of money. But the EP, it sort of it let us sort of relax a bit with songs like, I say relax, with songs like Bottled and Lost, track 2 and 4. We were able to show a bit more of a vulnerable side to us than just like a sort of in your face, listen to us kind of thing. So it was nice, but yeah, I still think we're in that mindset of each song has to be strong, because we've got to play them as well, so we don't want to be bored playing the songs. So we quite enjoyed just listening to the songs as well. We're quite proud of the songs that we've done. So yeah, we don't want anyone to get bored of it, really.
No, definitely not. You've done a couple of versions of those tracks you just mentioned for us here on Amazing Radio. I think we should hear Lost right now. You just touched upon it there, saying it was showing maybe a little bit more of the vulnerable kind of melancholy side of the band, which is not so immediate. Was there any kind of in particular influence behind this track before we hear it?
In terms of lyrics,
musical or lyrics, whatever, yeah.
I think lyrically it was just about not a lot of people know this. I didn't really translate this properly through the track, but it's actually a conversation between my parents. The verses are from my dad's perspective, because they've just gone through a divorce, and he's sort of saying, when did everything go wrong, and he sort of lost love for my mum, but my mum still loved him. And she was like, she sort of sings in the chorus, why did you come into my life to then just leave? So that's what Lost is about, and I just had to get that out. So that's that sort of more vulnerable side to it.
That's a beautiful reason to write a song, I think. And I think we should hear it right now. Let's hear Lost. This is Indigo Bay in session for Amazing. That was Lost, a very special version from Indigo Bay for us here on Amazing Radio, joined by Callum on the line as well right now. Wonderful version of that track. We've got more to come, including next up, Bats, which is one of my singles of the year. Really immediate, this. I love it. Tell us about this track.
So we met when we were 16, 17 in college in Grimsby. And Bats is about our attempt to try and create a name for ourselves in Grimsby when the place is like saturated with metal and rock bands. For years, we've been speaking to people that didn't really want to listen, in essence. You know, we were trying to shout what we were trying to do to people that could appreciate it, but didn't really want to, that didn't connect with it. So we're now based in Leeds, and already a few gigs we've done have been better than a lot of the gigs we've done in Grimsby, just because the people are willing to sort of, they're more interested. There's more people here, so there's a higher chance of coming across people that will be interested. But yeah, we'll always say we're from Grimsby because that's who we are. But Bats is about being told that there's no career as a band. You know, we're now 21, 22, so we've had enough of waiting around for something to happen. So we just want to take it further and just do it.
That's good. I like that. You mentioned that, you know, trying to find like-minded people because of all the metalers in Grimsby. What are they into? Are they making like their own metal and heavy metal music, or are they kind of covering their favorite Slipknot stuff? What are they doing?
No, so that's the thing. There's a lot of bands in Grimsby doing original material, and it's really good. It's really interesting to see, and there is a little bit, well, especially when we were going through college, a bit disconnected now because of being in Leeds for 3 years. But there was a really good scene when we were in college, like a live music scene, and a lot of it is original material, which is really interesting to see, because you would sort of suspect, no, nothing crazy from Grimsby, but there's a lot of good talent there. It's just that it just happened to be that what we were trying to do just wasn't fitting in.
Yeah. Well, I think the track Bats fits in everywhere. It's completely an international smash hit, well, at least here on Amazing Radio. I think we should hear it now, a very special version you've done. Indigo Bay in session for us once again.
Better living in a concrete jungle. Might pick up this thing if I give a little life, give it some hype just for one. One is so bad now, can't you see? 16 years and still unseen. Nobody's gonna take my dream. I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it. I don't want to admit it, I never learned to forget it. And you might call me a hypocrite, but I'm born blind to the deadline. I never really did it to be evil, I just really wanna go and please the people. Might appear uptight, I'm alright, call me bad, I'm up all night. Won't you give it to me? I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it. Won't you give it to me? I really, really want it, won't you give it to me? I really, really want it.
You're listening to Amazing Radio, a very special version there, Indigo Bay in session for us here on Amazing Radio. I'm so excited about this session because they're a band I've loved and played on the radio over the course of 2022. That was Bats for us there. Callum's on the line as well. We've got one more track as well, which I'm excited to play. But I guess I want to know more about the band, and I guess I want to know how you found 2022 and making those live shows as well happen, and now in Leeds as well. And yeah, I mean, is everyone happy? What's the current status of Indigo Bay, if you like? Have you got a rehearsal room, a regular space where you go to, that kind of thing?
Yeah, the current status is really good. We spent the whole a week in February recording the EP. And that was great. That was such a fun experience, and we're like super thankful to Heist or Hit for providing that for us. And the year has just been really good. A lot of things behind the scenes, just prepping for the EP, like music videos and sorting general stuff out. So that we've been so eager for the EP to finally be out, that it sort of carried us through the year. We did have a regular rehearsal spot at the uni I was at Leeds Beckett, because I did music production, and but I've just graduated this year, so we had to find a new rehearsal space, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a couple cool places around Leeds that get booked up pretty quickly. Couple small independent ones which are really cool, and yeah, it's live music wise, it's just been really good. We've been just getting the set really strong and working on that whilst the EP's been waiting to come out. And that we've just brought in my housemate Zach, who's doing like percussion and synths in the band to sort of help fill out the songs a bit more and add a bit more depth to them, which is really cool. So we're just going through stuff with that with him for now. But yeah, it's been so cool just playing a lot more gigs up in Leeds and in different cities, and it's just been nice to play to people that are just like really keen and actually like really responded to, like, the people that respond to you, because we've definitely done our fair share of playing to two people back in Grimsby. I mean, to be fair, yeah, that could definitely still happen, but at the moment it seems to be just really good at the moment.
Good. Let's hear the final track from the session then. We got a track called Papercuts. That's going to come up next for us. Another track on that excellent EP. You mentioned they're working with Heist or Hit. How did that come about? And, how do you feel about that relationship?
So I feel great about the relationship. It came about because I did a cover of Speed Racer by Hers, and they were on the label and put it on YouTube, and they came across it because a Hers fan page shared it, and they obviously follow a lot of Hers fan pages. And throughout college, Hers were one of our favorite bands. We loved covering their stuff. We loved listening to their music, and to then just get the Heist or Hit guys messaging us saying we actually really interested in your stuff. It was mind-blowing. It was great. It was it's just, I think one thing people need to understand about is that we're not really cool. We're just like we're like little fangirls, we're like, this is amazing, but it's so nice to have their support. They're so lovely. One thing that really matters to us is the sense of like family, and they're just an extension of that. They're really nice, just really helpful. I can message them, I can phone them if I just want to talk, and they're there for you, and it's really nice.
Yeah, they've put out some amazing music as well over the years, and we've supported here at Amazing. And I listen to the back catalogue when I'm not at work as well, so that's a measure of the label as well. And I think a measure of I always think like a band would see success and achievement if they see themselves in places where they find or discover music. And for yourselves to love bands like Hers and then end up working with the label that supported Hers so much through their career as well, it's a total dream come true, and a good reflection of of where you are, where you could be. And I guess in the ever-changing landscape, which generally speaking for indie bands in 2022 is a bit crap, let's be honest, right? You know what I mean? Like, the difference between having #1 single and surviving. It's just so vast, isn't it? And
Yeah.
we all want to just do that as your main thing and concentrate fully on your art. But because of life in the indie band in 2022, you can't. But to surround yourself with good people and to try and achieve those, really attainable goals where you would like to see your music, where you find and see music, those are real tangible things, aren't they?
Yeah. It's really nice. We were so happy that, the day that we went into the office and signed the contract, and the deal, it was a bit of a fever dream in terms of, we were just like, wow, we just never thought that would actually be a thing, that we'd do that. And then we just went out and celebrated for the whole day. It was in Manchester. It was great. Honestly, can't remember a lot of it. It was great.
Fantastic stuff. Let's see the final track of the session. This is Papercuts here, a very special version, Indigo Bay on Amazing Radio.
Caught in the web of the lies that you thread, it don't feel the same when you think of a name. I never can pull myself together, hands working on all kinds of weather. I do whatever I want, and I'll forget her. Can't tell me I won't be better. Ain't looking back on times together. I do whatever I want. Everybody wants to love someone, but they let it go. Welcome to the show. And I've been feeling like a blank white page, and I'm giving out my papercuts in rage. But then I've grown to know that it's meant to hurt. If it doesn't work, it is alright. In time, I know we'll be fine. When I'm living in my mind, I never can pull myself together. Hands working on all kinds of weather. I do whatever I want, and I'll forget her. Can't tell me I won't be better. Ain't looking back on times together. I do whatever I want. Take a trip to go find somewhere unknown. We'll burn up the road and take it nice and slow. I never can pull myself together, hands working on all kinds of weather. I do whatever I want, and I'll forget her. Can't tell me I won't be better. Ain't looking back on times together. I do whatever I want.
Papercuts by Indigo Bay here on Amazing Radio. Another wonderful session. Callum, thanks so much for doing those session tracks. I'm sure they're going to be played out for years here on Amazing Radio. But I understand there was a kind of a theme, particularly in that track as well, of mental health, something that you've experienced challenges with recently as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my mental health is really poor. It's something I'm working on at the moment. But yeah, Papercuts is about being in a bad relationship and not having the strength to leave. It's sort of about having that self-doubt of not feeling like you're worth anything because you've spent years changing who you are to become more likable. So when you eventually break up, you just sort of feel a bit lost of who you are. You don't really know. And that's definitely something that happened to me a while ago, and I still struggle with it. And there's a lot of undertones of being there for people, there for your friends throughout the EP. In Bottled, the second track, it's talking about how I've learned to not show my emotions and keep things literally bottled up, just because my parents, I've learned that from my parents, more my dad than my mum. But my brother died when I was really young, so at a young age, so they were they shut off, and obviously they've been suffering a lot, and I don't blame them for that. But I've learned to sort of just keep myself to myself and not really show anything. And it's something that I'm definitely learning to now, because I feel like it is a skill, actually being able to talk about how you feel instead of just sort of panning it off and say you're fine. Um,
Do you feel that
but
there's still stigmas attached to mental health, or do you think that they're slowly thawing a little bit in 2022?
I think they are slowly thawing. It's just definitely something that people need to be more aware of. Because at work, everyone's sort of known me as the sort of happy person that just is, there's nothing wrong and that everything's fine, because I think I've learned uh quite well to put on a good, a brave face and a happy face. But only recently I've sort of had a bit of a meltdown, and it all came out, and work were like, oh, we didn't know that that was happening, and it was. But now everyone's been there for me, and it's been really nice. So it's sort of, there's a lot of messages in the EP about checking in on people, making sure everyone's okay. Because yeah, that really means a lot to us. It's been nice having the four of us sort of just checking in on each other throughout these years, and that's why we get on so well, and that's why we're so close, because we've known each other for a while, and we've been there for each other throughout a lot of things so far.
No, that's really
Yeah.
important. I think, if you've got a tight brotherhood there, there for each other, and it really stands you in good stead to look after each other during this journey, because it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster, and there's going to be knocks, but the highs are going to be incredibly high. And of course, the lows could be incredibly low. But if you got each
Yeah.
other, and you are speaking about these things, and I think maybe perhaps you count this yourself lucky that you've got a creative outlet when many people don't, and you can express those feelings, and I think you bring, by speaking about these things, Callum, you bring other people comfort, by making people feel that these issues are real and other people go through them as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone is struggling. I think a lot more people are struggling than you know. So it's one thing that I've learned. I think I mentioned before, I've learned to do is not just say, oh, I'm fine, if someone asks, how are you? And it sort of works both ways. If you ask someone, oh, how you doing? Obviously, it depends. If you're just passing someone in the street and you need to rush somewhere, it's different. But if you've actually got time to talk to someone, and instead of just saying, oh, how are you? And they're replying, are you, I'm fine. Just be like, how are you actually doing? Are you okay? It's just going that extra bit further I think just means a lot. And yeah, I think everyone else appreciates it if you're there for them.
I think that will resonate with a lot of people, Callum, and I appreciate that you touching upon these issues, because they're very important here on Amazing Radio. We'll move the chat along to 2023. Sure. How do you see the year panning out, the upcoming year? A lot of people excited about your band for the coming year. Festival season, world tour, album releases, gold discs, that kind of thing, right?
Oh, definitely. I think one thing we've not done yet is jump on the sort of festival season. So that would be something that we've got as a goal that we really want to achieve. Even just one. There's a local one in Hull called the Humber Street Session, and just being able to play that would just be a bit of a dream come true, to be fair, being from Grimsby, so close, and it's like, oh, we've always wanted to play it, and it looks amazing. But yeah, festivals, a lot more gigs, and to be fair, being able to go and play in different places that we've never played before. I mean, we've not played in a lot of places so far, just sort of in the north kind of at the moment, but yeah, definitely a lot more gigs, potentially, definitely a lot of new music, but in the format of that, whether it be an EP or an album, we're not sure. So can't say anything yet.
I like it. You're playing the game already, Callum. I like it a lot. If you could have a big tour support with someone who's currently out there who could do a tour, who would be your dream ideal to jump on a tour with?
Wow, that would be, without a doubt, it'd be Hippocampus. It's our favorite band. That's one of the main bands that brought us all together, and just like I'm pretty sure at one point we did know their whole discography on guitar and be able to play it. And I think like I said, we're not a very cool band. If we did that, we'd be like, I think we'd be crying. We'd be like, oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah, another cool band that we've been into recently is Wonder Horse, and they're playing Brudenell in April. And if there's a slot going, if you're listening, can we play? We want to play.
At Nathan Broodnell on
Yeah.
Twitter, DM, please let this band play. Everyone,
Please
if
let
everyone
us
does
play.
that, I'm sure Nathan will let you play.
Yeah, hopefully. But that'd be cool. Yeah, those two would be really awesome.
Callum, we've taken enough of your time this afternoon. Thanks once again to you and the guys for doing a beautiful session. I can hear ourselves here at Amazing playing this session for years to come, and I can't wait to see what you do next year because that EP was something special. Thanks once again, mate.
Oh, thanks, Frankie. No, thank you so much for having me. It really means a lot.